My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Thank you for staying. Now, in our first story this morning, hundreds of residents of Mamobi are out on the streets to protest government's plan to evict them. According to the residents, they have been given 21 days to evacuate the area or be forced to leave. They are, however, on a march to convince government to rescind its decision. My colleague Michael Ashale is on the ground and joins us live. Michael, if you can hear me, what is the latest development as far as this demonstration is concerned?
Hello.
If you can hear me, I am asking what is the latest that you can report as far as this demonstration is concerned?
So currently we are heading very close to the Fanofa area. We've walked all the way from the Mamobi JHS, very close to the Mamobi police station here. We'll be speaking shortly to the assemblyman here. You can see the police chief in charge of the Nima area who was just speaking to the assemblyman here. So they are marching all the way to Obra Sport, and they are hoping to submit some letters, which you can see in the brown envelope, to some people in government. I'll ask the exact demands and what exactly they are also asking for. I have the assemblyman for the area. Good morning. So what's your full name though?
My full name is Wisdom Boatin, aka Okumanipa or Kumunipa.
Okay. I hope you don't kill anybody. So, but let me ask you, so what are exact demands? What are your concerns?
Our demand is, one, we want the government to intervene in this matter.
Okay.
For us to discuss this issue. Because we are citizens. You cannot give us just 1 week or 21 days to evacuate from the land. We have been presiding on the land since 1967. So we are not foreigners, we are Ghanaians. So the state should exercise patience for us. We can't litigate with the state. We can never litigate with the state. The strength of those that are living there and the state cannot battle with them.
Okay. So when I listen to you, you are agreeing that yes, the land is for the state and you are willing to leave, but just need some more time to leave.
Nobody is disputing that fact that the land does not belong to the state.
Okay.
But the land was given to us by our predecessors by AMA.
Okay.
So we are on that land since 1967 up to date. And we have been paying revenue to then AMA and the current Ayawaso North Municipal Assembly. We are paying revenue to them. So I don't see why you can evacuate Ghanaians within just 21 days. Are we foreigners? We are not foreigners. We are Ghanaians.
Okay. So how much more time do you need?
Well, when we get there, we'll cross. When we get there, we'll cross. But our wishes, the state will invite us and listen to our concern. Several petitions have been written to office of the president, office of the vice president, but attention has not been called. That's why we are doing this demonstration. Maybe somebody has sight on our petition, but through this demonstration, the government will hear from us.
Okay.
To invite us.
Again, I see some of the people asking for compensation. Why compensation?
Well, they think they have invested on the land.
Okay.
So if the government, the state were to evacuate us, they need a little compensation.
Okay.
Because they have spent money on that land.
Okay.
And it was AMA that authorized them, our predecessors, to do that stores over there. And now it has turned to be a residential area. And Ayawaso North Municipal Assembly cannot tell us that they are not aware that those that are living there, the population that are living there, are not a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot.
I see.
So there's exercise patience.
Okay.
We cannot litigate with the state.
Okay.
The state should exercise patience so that we have a very nice discussion so that my people too will calm down.
Okay.
Before they will evacuate.
Okay.
But within 8 days there and 21 days, I don't want any chaos to happen.
Okay.
It will send a very bad signal for the state.
I come to ask you who your envelopes are directed to, but what exact concerns do you have with the MC for the area, Zachariah MZ?
Well, he's all ready to listen to us. He's not trying to cooperate with me as an assembly member. Try to bully me. So, I just have to exercise patience.
Those are heavy accusations that you're also making.
Yes, of course, I have to say that. Because if you serve the community letter without giving a copy to the assembly member, does he respect me as an assembly member? It was the people give me the mandate to lead them. So if you want to serve the community, I'm the first person for him to serve, for me to be served. Before I even pronounce it to the community, you cannot pass behind me to go and give the community letters that we are giving them 21 days without my consent.
Okay, great. So let me ask you finally. So who are these envelopes directed to?
Well, this petition is going to give in to first the sitting president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and also the vice president Alhaji Bawumia, and a speaker of parliament as well.
Okay. Which speaker of parliament do you have in mind?
The sitting speaker of parliament.
Okay.
That's I forget the name. Okay.
That's fine. So that's Wisdom, the assemblyman for the Mamobi area, I want to believe. Great, and he's been telling us the exact demands that they have from this protest here. They're almost at a brass spot where we are currently. It's Fan-Offa area, around the Fan-Offa traffic light here. I'll be speaking to some more people here to find out, as citizens, as residents, indigenous of the Mamobi area, what concerns do you also have? I mean, they've been asking for compensation for those who have developed their land, and again, for some more time if they have to leave eventually, but they are hoping that some more conversations will have to happen before they finally decide to leave here.
Me pacho yesterday 28 days neswa mesro mo fa America kranka ma ye ho no bia koto mutimi ma be say 1 year 2 years ne fa ye pepre ne fa ye fa sesa ye man ye nyama ne ye nko yesre na ado ani MZ ani MPP abase yesre wom ye do nyame pacho nim say ye abase aseso ne yete but ye beko ya ye beko eto ma ye mre o ma ye kwan 1 year 2 years ne fa se bi to me si bi fie mi wie ye akakakra se se me kwan eti me sre mi do nyame pa mu chow na do ne na ban enu enset enu mo mu kika se enu bawumia ye sre o mu tie ye sufre ye kita nkwala ebi tro me ba atro Beba betro S JHS mesre me do nya me pamuchawo omoma ye mre oma ye 1 year or 2 years ye do mase
so she's one of those residents who are asking for some more time. Their major concern is where to from here, and that's what they're hoping government to give them some more time to find answers to. Let's see how that goes here. So back to you in the studio. Becoming very chaotic a bit. Yeah, but there's some more women. There's not just men that are on the march here from Mamobi all the way to Obrasport. There are women here holding placards with many concerns as well. Let me find some of those women, the exact concerns here. Bossman, let me talk to this woman here. Okay, let me look for some women to talk to. There are children as well who are part of this march. Let me get inside here a little bit and find from some of the women who are with us. Mommy, so what's your concern?
It's a problem.
Then why didn't you share red and imagine?
You see, and two of them, you need baby. Any baby are continuing to read.
This is an say a mamma.
Some fine chair.
And I mean, two and a mamma crack.
And I'm my 2 years.
2 years. 2 years, remember, then never to make my hair.
Oh, you may a crack.
See, I know you 2 then I obey.
Say to me, I have me. You baby, I call. Meaning, baby, hey.
But you see, I know what sitting as was saying.
Ah, you won't kaka. Okay, yeah.
Let me speak to some more women who are part of the protest here en route to Obra Sport, challenging government's decision to evict them within 21 days. Me pacho wona anentina also o machibi.
Me ni baby abatina, me kuno so yare, me ni baby me di kukura ko. Nti o wodam me nya sika susu.
Nti anka opese ye modensis ye ma momre kakra.
Pacho
Me sem resen.
My mentini ye nti me ni di amaka susu. Mentini ye ya igbeni nti me ni di amaka.
But sisi anu wasitena na ete say ene bi mu akasa mo say ayedin.
Oh, ama entina kakra. Ansa no enko entunko.
But your mama 2 years kra mo be ready.
Pacho
That no enya sika no betimi akọ.
Pacho enya sika ebanya. Pacho.
So she's also one resident here who's telling us that currently her husband is not well. She doesn't have the means to also take him to a hospital to adequately cater for his health and put him back in shape. So I'll be speaking to some more people. They are young men and women as part of this protest. Let's find out from some of them here. Baby, and you don't
Mama, baby,
so, I mean, before I started talking to her, she was singing a song that, well, she has nowhere to go. It's Mamobi that she will stay at the end of the day. But multitudes of people that have joined this protest here to send a signal to government and to the Municipal Chief Executive, Zakaria Mohammed, who is the MC for Ayawaso North. They are asking for some more time before they move.
Well, Michael, so we know that this demonstration is ongoing and that they are headed to the Obra spot where finally they are hoping to meet some government officials and make these submissions. We'll stay with you as the demonstration continues. But by way of the numbers, how many people are we looking at? I mean, a guesstimate.
Akakpo, if I had to do some good guesswork here, I should have more than 1,000 people in this particular protest here. Currently, they are very close to Odorais area. If you know Circle, Odorais, and that's where the front of this particular protest is. The end of that, where you see that FPU vehicle, is somewhere after the Fanofa traffic light here. That leads to the Fanofa area here. So that's what we can hear. So I mean, some more people here. I don't know.
Because we are citizens. We have our own right.
Okay, so that's here. So this is becoming very noisy as well. But you can hear from mothers who are part of this protest who say don't go anywhere. They are singing and dancing, but don't be fooled. This is supposed to be a march, a protest to protest government decision to evict them from the Mabobi area here. Now, these are a lot of homes we are talking about here, and arguably every single one of these individuals represents a home, and we have about more than 1,000 people in this particular protest. Women, men, children are part of this protest here, and they are asking for some more time, some more deliberations before they will be allowed, before they should be, they will evict this particular place that we are talking about here. So a lot of people in this particular protest, they are almost at a brass spot where they are hoping to end this particular march, and will be submitting their petitions. The assemblyman tells me to some people in the government. They have one addressed to the president, the other addressed to the vice president, and they have one also directed to the Speaker in Parliament, Right Honourable Alban Bagman, as well. Yes, so a lot of people here, but the police is also with them to ensure security, to ensure that this protest is peaceful and nobody gets hurt at the end of the day. It becomes event-free. That at the end of the day, their message will go across to government without any news of chaos at the end of the day. So a lot of people here who have joined this particular march here this morning.
Michael Ashali, thank you. We'll stay with you. We'll reconnect with you when it is time for them to actually hand over this petition. But that is my colleague there, Michael Ashali. Let's talk corruption now. And Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says the government is building a robust system that will reduce bribery and corruption and ensure efficient delivery of public services. He observed corruption had negatively affected revenue mobilization, inhibiting the development of the country. Dr. Bawumia says through digitalization, the government is building a system that will enhance transparency and accountability in economic development. Nanaya Ojima has more in this report.
The Vice President was speaking at the 59th annual session of the Ghana Baptist Convention under the theme, Fulfilling God's Purpose, Growing God's Church. According to him, corruption has festered due to failure of governments on building systems and institutions that underpin economic activities.
Corruption inhibits economic growth and affects business operations, employment, and investments. It also reduces tax revenue and the effectiveness of various financial assistance programs. The wider a society is influenced by a high degree of corruption in terms of lowering of trust in the rule of law, governance, and consequently the quality of life. With this in mind, in today's world, it has become increasingly important that nations deliberately develop systems that care for all, empower all, and minimize the gap between the rich and the poor.
The NPP government's proposed solution to the challenge is digitalization. Under the present administration, 85% of the citizenry have been issued Ghana cards. By this, the individuals have attained tax identification numbers, SNIT, and NHIS numbers. Dr. Bawumia explains, though full benefit from the digitalization drive is yet to be achieved, the country has made some gains.
We have to bring light to the system, to shine a light on the problems that we have been facing. And this is why we have adopted the policy of digitalization. Digitalization is shining a light on the darkness of bribery and corruption. This government is building a system that will enhance transparency, promote accountability, discipline, trustworthiness, and enable inclusiveness. It is a system we are trying to build so that it is not who you know and interpersonal, but it is just, you can just go and apply for a driver's license and get it, a passport and get it, just pay for it online and get it. No human interfaces. Ladies and gentlemen, you fight corruption with systems. You do not fight corruption with rhetoric. And so in this regard, we have been trying to put systems in place. We're trying to identify everybody uniquely. And that is why we are issuing the Ghana card.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Baptist Convention has commended the government's efforts to digitalize the economy. Reverend Dr. Ernest Edujemfi is executive president.
This is part of the solution to the challenge of corruption and the resolution of the challenges that we have as a country with paying taxes to the country. While pursuing this agenda, I believe it is also necessary to look at some areas where the citizenry could have some relief.
For JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
Let's head now into the Ashanti region, and the regional minister says he's unfazed by the NDC's claim of an increased membership in the governing party's stronghold. The opposition claims it is making inroads after what it describes as oversubscription in its registration drive. National Chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo attributes the increase in membership to the neglect of the region. But Simon Osei-Mensah, in an interview with my colleague Ernest Menu, rejected the claim.
336, 64 contracts under Department of Urban Roads, 69 contracts under Ghana Highways Authority, and 203 under feeder roads. Do you understand it? Yeah. You know, before the COVID, things were moving on all right. And if it had continued that way, and we had even completed even 50%, we would be talking about 3,000 plus kilometers of road. If we have gone to about 75, we'll be talking about somewhere around 5,000 plus kilometers of road. But because of the crisis, there will be decrease in revenue, but expenditure will go up. Definitely, simple economics will tell you that we are going to have economic difficulties. It will mean that the budget deficit is going to widen. And once this happens, it will affect several areas.
So for the thousands who are watching you right now in the Ashanti region, many of whom have been agitating for weeks now, how long should they wait to see the roads finished, tarred, and
I cannot give them time. Do you know why?
Why?
It depends on the performance of the economy and the ability of the government to pay the contractors who have left site. And I cannot sit here and give timelines because I don't hold the purse. And I don't know when whatever the government is doing, when we are going to get the money. So I don't want to give timelines. But all that I'm praying for, that all the measures and systems put in place, all the area the government is trying to source for funding must be realized, even not in its entirety.
But the point of the people is that, granted that COVID has had its adverse effect on the economy, what did the government do for the region in its first term? I mean, this is your World Bank. In the last election, you performed 71%, the presidential election. The NDC obviously appreciated in terms of their figures. Today, we are hearing from the chairman of the NDC that they are carrying out some registration in the region, and they've seen 100% increase in terms of membership. They think that a lot more people are joining their party, and you should be worried about that.
You see, what NDC says in the region is what they are saying. I don't have access to their figures. I don't have access to the records. They have the access. They have said their questions. They have their marking scheme. They can mark it.
But you're when not worried. You're not worried that
I'm not worried. What I'm worried is when we get is how to get money to give the contractors to go back to site. Not NDC now. No.
But you've heard the threats from the people
that is
who have said
let me.
They are not going to give you their vote anymore because they feel you're taking them for granted.
We are not taking them for granted.
Well, the minister also said the recent attack on the majority leader and member of parliament for Swami, Osei-Mensah was unjustified. Here's why.
They did at Swami. I don't support them a bit, not a day, never.
You're talking of the pelting of the MP.
Because we knew the road was bad. We worked for the road to be given on contract. Okay. The contractor was working. There was shortage of bitumen in the country. This contractor, I commend him. I drove my heart to him. Had it been any other contractor, he wouldn't have even wasted his time to go and look for bitumen from other country because the government is already owing him. But he went to look for the bitumen. These people who organized the demonstration before the pelting of the chassis water, you went to the regional urban route engineer, and he told you that the contract has now got bitumen surface. Between Monday and Friday, he is coming to site. What do you have to do? You have to wait.
So the action they took was not justified?
Not. Why did they go to the regional urban route engineer if they don't believe him? So you go to the person, and then the next day you come and do demonstrations. So why did they go to him then? To do what? 2, after the demonstration, we're not worried. We said if we went through the legal process, this is their constitutional right, they can do demonstration. The majority leader came to explain almost the same thing as the urban route director said. I also went on air, explained almost the same thing as the two of them had said. and we said they should wait between Friday and Monday, the contractor will be on site. As the member of parliament for the area, who has responsibility for their welfare, we've given promises and assurances. He was going there to check whether actually the contractor is on site. And when the contractor was on site, so he was moving with the regional urban rules director and a representative of the company. So where's the need for pelting of this thing? You want the people to be there, the people are there. So you pelt the majority leader water, Shashi water, for what reason? Me, I don't support.
So what's the update of that project? Is it progressing steady?
It's going on.
And we are to finish on schedule?
No, we cannot say he will finish on schedule because there was a time lag where he didn't work, where he was looking for the bitumen. Okay. And so definitely I cannot say that it will be on schedule. But what is important is that the contractor is on site and is working.
Well, in a separate development, the Ashanti Regional Security Council has announced the creation of the Vice-Chancellor's Forum to deal with issues of unrest on campuses of tertiary institutions within the region. Some security analysts have called for intelligence-led swoops and a national strategy to deal with rioting in schools following the clashes at the KNUST and the University of Ghana. Speaking to JoyNews, Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah said while there were operational difficulties with security on campus, a regular update from the school authorities should help forestall such disturbances.
That day I was here. I was attending Internal Audit Agency conference at University of Professional Studies in Accra here. Okay. I had some other meetings earlier. But when I got the intelligence, it was a bit late. I was in Accra. So I quickly called the regional police commander, and then he said he's also heard of it. So they are trying to mobilize some people. I called the NIB commander. I called the regional security liaison officer. I called the 4BN commander. They just went around. You see, the difficulty here, and people should understand the practical challenges that we have. One, when you hear something like this, you cannot just say, hey, I just so send 10 personnel to take Domiabra, send 20, maybe Oforikrum, send this number. You have to get the numbers. You have to get the personnel in one place. Let them get the commanding officer, and then give them instructions as to what they have to do on the ground. If you don't do that, somebody coming from Domiabra police station will have a different command. So they will be giving counter instructions, and that could be chaotic.
Is it about time to beef up the police station at the KNUST, for instance? Maybe the population has outgrown the structure you put there. Oh,
definitely. Even we increase it a little. But the point is, KNUST itself has internal security. When they are overwhelmed, that's where we go in. So you cannot just move in straight. You have to discuss with the Vice Chancellor before you can move in. But in short, what I'm saying is that the security situation in the region has improved.
I mean, there's been the suggestion that because this happened and then we saw Legon, and there have been hints that we should check UCC as well. Do you think there should be a national strategy to deal with this? I mean, going forward, especially on the campuses? Yeah,
there should be a national strategy. But before we do that, we should abolish this situation week. Maybe University Hall, that's Katanga Organizing Hall week. Then you have students from Commonwealth. You have students from Kesley Hereford. What are they coming to do there? If it's games, I don't have any problem. Yeah. But War Week, buses. So even, yes, checking the footage of this, you realize that most of the people who were involved were not even from KNUST campus. About 1.5 months to 2 months ago, we wrote to all the universities in the Ashanti region that we want to form what we call Vice Chancellor's Forum, and they will meet the Regional Security Council on quarterly basis to brief us on the security challenges over there, because we cannot just go there unless maybe something like a terrorist something, where whether they like it or not, we can go in. Even people can come from Accra and move in. This one is not issue we have to go and sit and discuss with them. But normal security issues You have to seek permission
so
from them.
quarterly update so you can be abreast with the issues and then address them.
Exactly.
Let's talk accommodation now. And cheap accommodation is a challenge for level 200 student Sandra Apia. At the University of Ghana campus, we hear how she juggles 3 jobs to ensure she keeps her room on campus. There is more in today's edition of the Living Standard series.
My fees for a year is 1,751 cedis, and the accommodation fees for a semester is 427 cedis. Purchasing is not allowed. You can't even purchase front end. Yes, so definitely I would have to come from the house. I decided to maybe work, and then if he is even taking care of the younger ones, I, as a senior girl or something, will just use this one to support myself in school, since I won't be getting much from him.
Sandra Apia meticulously fixes artificial nails for one of her clients. It is one of 3 jobs which earns her income for tuition and accommodation at school. At 19, Sandra started selling shoes and clothing when her father's structural business started struggling. Her father hardly makes ends meet to cater for her ailing mother and her 3 siblings. The only way for her to survive is to work hard while she studies.
I started working right after SHS. Yes, and I decided that was 2018. So I worked for 2 years. I worked as a mobile money vendor. I worked as a shop assistant in Okaishi, and lastly, I worked as a sales girl in a cosmetic shop at Dakuman. So around 2020, I decided to buy University of Ghana forms and then take it from there.
For Sandra, a major challenge is securing accommodation cheap enough for her to afford. She currently resides at Volta Hall, one of the halls available to the over 39,000 student population at the University of Ghana. The university has 11 halls providing housing to students at a fee. An application portal is open every year for students to apply.
I decided to maybe work, and then if he is even taking care of the younger ones, I, as a senior girl or something, will just use this one to support myself in school, since I won't be getting much from him. I pay my fees, pay my accommodation fees. My daddy sometimes supports with the provisions. That's when I'm coming to school. But when I get here, everything is up to me. I work with, I feed from what I earn as a nail technician.
However, students who miss the application window have to rely on privately run hostels at a much expensive rate. Sandra is one of the lucky few to have a room in the traditional hall. She pays a little above 900 cedis a year.
Currently, my fees for a year is 1,751 cedis, and the accommodation fees for a semester is 427 cedis. Okay, sometimes in a day I can say maybe I would get 150 or 200, and I cannot save all that 150 or 200 and be like I'm using that to pay my fees. At least I'll go to the market at the end of the week. So out of that 150, okay, let me say 200 cedis, I will save 50 cedis and then keep 50 cedis to myself. That's what I'll be feeding on, maybe buy some books, some stuffs and all that, and the remaining 100 cedis, I'll put it aside. And sometimes too, I've been sending my mom money.
But for off-campus hostels, students spend as much as 6,000 cedis a year for a room. The least one can spend is 2,000 cedis. Sandra tells me she cannot afford it if she loses her room at the Volta Hall.
If I'm not able to get accommodation on campus, definitely I would have to come from home because patching is not allowed. You can't even patch a friend end. Yes, so definitely I would have to come from the house. I stay with my dad in Kwashiman. It's in Accra, but my mom is also in Koforidua, so sometimes I would go there.
The struggle is real for many other students. Vanessa, who is at the other end of the hostel, is also pursuing political science, information technology, and theatre arts. After classes, she relaxes in her room to catch up on reading. Vanessa hopes that the accommodation challenges for students will be resolved.
It becomes difficult if only you reapply and you don't pay within the 48 hours. That's when you could lose your accommodation, even though you chose it online.
Initially, students could have a room for their 4-year stay, but with increasing population, students have to apply every year. For the likes of Sandra, who can hardly make ends meet, how will she afford accommodation should she miss out on her payment?
Well, now over 800 SMEs and traders in Kumasi have received training in precision quality by the Design and Technology Institute, the DTI. The drama-cum educational piece titled Joe Sharp mirrors the lives, work, successes, and failures of master craftspersons, their relationship with customers, and how they can enhance that through the application of precision principles. The current drama series-based training is under the Transforming Youth TVET Livelihood for Sustainable Jobs project in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation's Young Africa Work Strategy, which seeks to create 40,000 direct and indirect work opportunities for the youth, especially young women, through TVET in Ghana.
The current drama series-based training is under the Transforming Youth TVET Livelihood for Sustainable Jobs project in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation's Young Africa Work Strategy, which seeks to create 40,000 direct and indirect work opportunities for the youth, especially young women, through TVET in Ghana. The program is a unique way of training informal sector operators who have immense skills and potential but require refinement to churn out quality products and services. Through the drama series, DTI expects to improve the work skills and practices of 5,000 master craft persons and 1,000 SMEs. According to the project coordinator of DTI, Kwame Opompepra, 78% of the trainees have attested to high work ethics and registered their companies as well.
The benefit is that it would improve their markets. I'll give you a typical example. The things that we started with them already. And after we've trained about 1,000 people, about 78% of these people trained have now gone to register their companies. And this is a very good thing, because if somebody wants to do business with you and you've not registered your business, the person cannot sign any contract with you. And until we prepare ourselves, you know how to do the thing, but you are not ready for the market. People are looking for people to do business with, but he doesn't know of the entity. He knows of only one person. And this is one thing that we are bringing to fore, that aside the fact that you can do the work that you do, you should be recognized in the ecosystem. And that is one of the very benefits that is coming to them. We have master craft persons who are getting bigger contracts because now they can now organize their spaces well.
Participants who are optimistic the engagement has been revealing and will help them secure more contracts. Eric Bwachi Yadom is the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Branch of the Ghana National Tailors and Dressmakers Association.
Our members complain we don't have contracts, we don't have this, we don't have that. The government has neglected us. But it is just a little thing that we are not doing. That's the reason why. Somebody has worked for so many years, but the government doesn't know him or her because the corner he or she is, the government did not see him, he is working. Sometimes people go for the contract, they are not artisans, but because they are close to the government, they can go for the contract and then they come and pick us and do the work for them. So I think what they are teaching us today, we will work on that and then we come to Limelight so that we can get contract and then work for that.
Mrs. Abigail Kwanzaa is chairman, Ashanti Region Hairdressers Association. The program has been very helpful, she says. It has educated us on how to attract and retain customers. We should try and hold this program quarterly.
But ye but training ya be sua niema wa hai ema ye hunu se o se yetime de niema nyina tutu.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Thank you for staying with us. When we return after the break, we bring you business. Do stay.
At the Accra International Conference Center. This year's edition of the fair is another theme, Where You Live Matters. Here's a report from there.
The moment we've all been waiting for this year. What makes the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair different from other fairs is that it's an assembly, it's a congregation of experts in the business. Many of them are pioneers in their space. We've had a lot of patrons, coming through. You can see from the other side, many of them gathered, checking out what our exhibitors have on offer here. I mean, particularly, I'm intrigued by the innovation of many of our exhibitors here. And this is just one of them, Bamboo Products Limited.
So we have the pergolas, the fencing, the ceiling, shelters, and partitions. So these are some of our products. We have the weaved 4x4 panel. We have the weaved bamboo 4x4 panel for the ceiling. We use it for
You can use a bamboo for my ceiling.
Yeah, you can really use it for your ceiling. Both your house, your stores, everywhere you can use the bamboo weaved for it. We have this one too. We have different samples. This is for fencing. We have this one for fencing. Yeah. This one too is being used for fencing. This one too is being used for fencing. This is a smaller weaved panel form of it. We also have the bamboo stand, which you can use it in your office, your home. You can put your files on it. You can put your files under over here. We have all these things. Okay.
Something that I've seen here is a smart light, right?
Yes, the Philips Wiz Connect light. So it's a smart light. It's one of the most innovative lights you can find on the market now from Philips. Very beautiful light that you can control it from the comfort of your own home. It gives you over millions of colors of light.
Over million
colors of light. This is a light that you choose what kind of color you want in your room. So I just wanted to show you. So this is what we have. We have installed some of the waist lights, like you can see. Yeah. This is giving you a Christmas feeling. Yeah. And you can change it to any other color temperature that you prefer. Yeah. So I'm just trying to do a little demonstration with the app on my phone.
So you are controlling this light using this app on your phone?
This app on my phone, yeah. Okay. And I can change it to any color I want. Yeah. Like whatever I feel, I can basically I'm managing the light based on my own feeling. If I want it to be in the TV setting for me, the light will give me that setting.
And you're telling me that with the app that you have on your phone, you can change the light to suit the mood that you want.
Exactly.
So if you want a romantic mood, you can get that.
Yes,
if you want, which other mood?
Yeah, so I mean, even on the app, they've already saved certain settings for you. Okay. I mean, romantic settings. There was a movie setting for you. There's a party settings for you. There's a whole lot of settings that the app itself we have saved for you. You can choose to decide which other setting that you also want to come on by itself. You just need to,
like you can see in the background. So it's not just older folks coming around, but you can see young people coming here together with their parents. So families are actually coming around. Some of the people I spoke to earlier were telling me that they had to ask permission from the workplace, to come here. They're going to come right after work. So there's no restriction as to who can come here.
I'm looking at it. I'm going around and doing assessment and look at it so that I can pinpoint to a particular one.
But you like what you've seen so far?
Come again?
Do you like what you've seen so far?
Oh, yeah, I'm impressed. I came with my son also to look at it so that I may be able to advise how to. So he asked me to join him for this purpose.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so do pass through the Accra International Conference Center if you have some time today. Now, in other news, an advisor at Labour Organization Norway, Alice Siame, has called on trade organizations and all relevant authorities to help fight forced labor. She made the comment at the launch of the Trades Union Congress's Manual on Forced Labor and Modern-Day Slavery. There is more in this report.
Speaking at the launch of a manual on forced labor and modern slavery, Alice Siame noted that modern-day slavery is a stain on humanity and should be abolished. According to her, even though child labor is illegal, the act is practiced in many areas on the continent.
No, what now needs to happen is utilizing this manual as a tool to address this scourge, which I think modern slavery or whatever name you call it, is actually a stain on our humanity as Africans, on our own well-being, and children especially, who need to grow and in a free society. We've asked for freedom from colonialists, yet we are keeping our own children in bondage. So this is what is the irony of it all, does not make sense to the international world. And it shouldn't make sense to us as Africans as well, who seek freedom, that we should hold other people under bondage.
On his part, a representative of the Trades Union Congress, Engineer Andrew Adokwe-Tego, said that mobilizing communities and intensifying education is the way to go. This, he believes, will help address the issue of child labor and forced labor, since over 72% of child labor cases occurs in the agri sector.
Then, using the child labor free zone concept, we can be able to mobilize communities and address child labor. It is said that over 72% of child labor is in agriculture. So if we start at that level and then we address that 72%, we are making some strides. And the fishing on Lake Volta is one of the key ones we have started work on. And that is where we developed the concept of the child labor free zones that we looked at. And in the child labor free zone, inherent in it is a strategy for addressing child trafficking, strategy for addressing forced labor, and strategy for addressing decent work deficits, and strategies for community ownership. It is the problem of the community, and the communities must lead the process, and that is what the trade union approach seeks to promote.
The manual, which is the first of its kind in Africa, will also address the problems of decent wages, social protection, and decent work as a whole.
And that's business. More after this break. Do stay tuned.
We're having a conversation. No, it's a conversation. I know, but I'm saying conversation. Thank you very much.
Politically correct. Aren't you tired of the overly refined political opinion, banter, and analysis on radio and television?
Well, it's time to break the shackles and liberate your political opinion on social media. JoyNews is bringing to your favorite social media platform a political talk show like no other. raw, live, and interactive. We call it the State of Play.
Join the best political team on social media. Evans Mensah, Winston Amwa, and Raymond Aqua every Thursday for 30 minutes at 2:30 p.m. exclusively on the Joy News and Joy 99.7 FM Facebook pages, as well as on YouTube and Instagram for a live interaction. Drop your comments on our live stream and engage with us on Twitter via the hashtag State of Play. State of Play, simply politically incorrect.
Time now for sports, and Lawrence Beidou joins me. Good morning, Lawrence.
Good morning, Ben.
So I know the European Champions League, the UEFA Champions League is
League.
in the offing at the group stages.
Yeah. So not yet. We are not yet at the group stages. UEFA will do the pairings today.
Right.
Yeah. So for some clubs,
this is where they get to do their magic, and then we'll see which team plays against
Liverpool.
Which one.
Yeah.
Right.
So it will happen today. It will be happening today at 4 p.m.
Okay.
The last time the group stage draw was held was 11 months ago. So obviously it's a new season, 2022-23 season. For a team like Real Madrid, they will be looking to defend their title they won last season. You know, they went on quite a good trip and a good road where they beat Manchester City, Chelsea, and then Liverpool en route to winning what was a 14th and a record 14th Champions League title. So obviously, it's good omen for them. The fact that they've done some good business is not too good. If you lose a player like Casemiro, obviously it's a bad business. But then they have someone, a young chap, who is in to replace Casemiro. For other teams, for some
Casemiro, whom they've lost to Manchester United, they would say that, well, age is also a factor, and the Red Devils, those fans have also complained about the age of Casemiro.
There are some players, regardless the age, they turn out to give their all or their best at any point in time. Casemiro is one of those players. For a team like Rangers, they come into the Champions League group stage for the first time in quite a long time.
It's been quite a while.
Celtic has been taking that spot, but this season they get to play the Champions League. Also in the mix is Eintracht Frankfurt of Germany. So they are in the group stage because they won the UEFA Europa League last season, where they beat Rangers in the final. So both Rangers and then Frankfurt get to play in the Champions League. What makes this Champions League season quite different is that they'll start the group stages, and then at some point, because of the World Cup, they'll have to break and then finish the World Cup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it will be done for all the leagues, major leagues, obviously, because your league can be going on.
There are players from across the globe who will be in the World Cup.
The World Cup is in place, so they have to break and then go and finish the World Cup and then come to continue their respective leagues. So it will give us more Champions League action back to back to back. That is what football fans love. You know, you get to see the big teams in action against each other, and you wish the game doesn't even end. So, well, if you're a Manchester City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Chelsea fan, you get to know the teams you are playing in your groups. And then you get to know whether your group is quite soft or you
So only
have to
time
go
will
the
tell.
hard way.
Only time will tell from 4 p.m. today. Before you go, Lawrence, very quickly in some 10 seconds, what is your appreciation of yesterday's charity match or friendly match, Barcelona versus Manchester City?
I thought it was quite a good game, having a champion of Manchester City face a Spanish team. For football fans, we all know the relationship between Manchester City and then Barcelona. The fact that Pep Guardiola handles Manchester City as well. So it was quite a good omen for both fans of the clubs. They saw best players on the field to raise some funds for Barcelona, because obviously there's I've forgotten the name, but there's this man who they needed to raise a fund for.
Right.
In the region, so,
right.
Yeah.
But from the performance you saw yesterday, what would be your projections?
I feel obviously Manchester City are a better side.
Better than Barcelona?
Yeah, regardless the business Barcelona have done this summer, Manchester City stands tall among. If it's based on names, Barcelona have the names, but then for quality purposes, Manchester City up there.
Lawrence, and we just brought you some snippets of that action. If you missed it, you can check it out. Lawrence Beidou there of our sports team. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Benjamin.
All right. And that's how we wrap it up this morning on Joy News Desk. Of course, we bring you Joy News today at noon. I'm Benjamin Akakpo. Thank you for your company.